Welcome guys to another Age of Empires forecasted game. We have with us a new player. I'm not really sure who he is. His nickname is Wadid and he's now playing as the Rus in the color pink against his opponent. Playing as the Chushi's Legacy in the color red, it's Quackity here. So now it's Crackety here. If you don't know about Crackety, he's one of those guys that he mainly mains China. And of course, with main in China comes with the thing that you also main Chushi, and he's a really good player overall. I mean, we're talking about both players being in the 2000 elo. That's pretty damn high, to be honest. That's pretty damn high. I wonder how much you can rank up your elo if you actually do like deliberate training. What I mean is, like, first you need to, well, you need to put the games, right? You need to play. You need to train a strategy. And then you need to review every game and check what went wrong, what you can do better. And you can do this for every game. I noticed in my experiments that if I do that, in 1 month, I can go up around 100 elo. So we're talking about if you do that consistently, and I don't have a lot of games, but I do have enough. I mean, so maybe like in a year you can arrive to this kind of elo. I don't think so, but maybe if you put your heart and mind into it, maybe it's possible. For those of you who are really into, you know, just getting better at the game, it's part of the fun, you know. It's part of the fun to just see yourself improving, and it definitely makes you happy. I'm gonna change the colors, guys, okay? So we're gonna leave Crackety as the color red, alright? And we're gonna change wadid colors to blue. The problem with this is I cannot change the viewer's perspective. You will see that they change the colors, so it's just gonna be easier for us, for you as a viewer, to see who's which, because just the colors like pink and red, they're just so similar. I still don't know why they haven't changed it. Look at that. Crackety going there to put those meditation gardens. It's just gonna be close to his base. I was thinking he wanted to put it here. Very good spot. Has wood, has one big gold vein, one small gold vein, and one berry bushes. But it's gonna be playing the conservative one. It's just gonna be gold, berry bushes, and some wood. Not gonna be super greedy. I don't know if he scouted this one. I'm sure his scout is coming back soon. Probably he didn't see this from on. I'm just really tempted to see. Yeah, unfortunately the scout just didn't. He didn't see this spot before aging up. So, well, at least he got some sheep, right? Yeah, that's plenty of sheep. 9 sheep for Crackety, 8 sheep for Wadid. Now, at this point, Chushi's Legacy have a couple of options. One, they do a massive Chugunu rush, which I believe is pretty possible now that Rus is actually going for the Golden Gate. I think it's actually viable. Just because you don't have the Kremlin, you don't have the, you will not call the militia. Suddenly, pushing into the Rus base becomes actually a thing that before you wouldn't be able to do. Now the other thing is they both go to Castle Age, and usually this landmark you want to have it just so that you can really get to the Castle Age. It's like a it's funny, it doesn't even say economic landmark or anything, it's just landmark. Basically you can buy resources for a very good price, and you have your supply points. So every number of seconds you get your supply points, and you can exchange for a very good rate. Normally it's 100 to 100, and the more you buy the resource, the less gold you get for stone. For example, I buy a lot of stone, maybe I need to pay 100 gold for 10 stone because the market is already saturated, but that doesn't happen with the Rus anymore. So Quackity here, gonna go that super fast Castle Age. Villager is gonna be doing the long distance wander. That's a long distance. But I mean, he doesn't really want to spend to put a mill here just in case a knight arrive, it's kind of like a awkward situation where you put the mill next to the berries, and in a way you save yourself from this type of situation, but at the same time you expose yourself to your opponent opening up with a stable and you sending the knight, then suddenly you need to build another mill, and you know, it's never a good time. But luckily for him, sheep already arrived. Wadid will just be torching this, which means he will get less resources per minute eventually, but still pretty good so far. Wadid also says great minds think alike. I'm also gonna go Castle Age, and look what he's doing. Managed to put all the villagers here, and most likely, look at that. He just sold some wood. Look at this build. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. Basically, what he's doing, he's chopping wood, and then he's selling the wood for gold, and with the villagers just gathering food from the sheep, which also they get 1 gold for every drop off. Actually, should be getting enough gold to age up, and now with the next ticket, you should be able to sell some wood. Or even just sell some food, you know, if you have too much food. Oh my god, that's a lot of gold, man. That's a lot of gold. Crocodile, and very few civilizations can really beat the Chushi's Legacy Castle Age timing. And now the Shaolin Monastery is up, and he's gonna start grabbing those relics. Meanwhile, the Rus is gonna be the high trade house, having a really nice spot here next to that big wood line. Interesting approach to aging up, coming from the Rus. It's still a very fast age up. I mean, we're talking about under 7 minutes, you already hit the age up bottom. That's really good for you. That's very, very good for you. Now, Krake was like in a really like, I gotta go fast kind of mode. So he didn't have any wood for anything, so he doesn't have any production. So he will most likely just chop the wood to get those knights out, and especially deal with this stuff. Already grabbing the first relic. Now we don't really see those monks in the UI. Thank you, Relic, for the updates on the observer mode, which haven't been updated for ages. You don't see the Shaolin monks actually grabbing the relics. You don't see them count here in the left side of the screen, where you can actually see how many relics each player has. I'm gonna have to manually try to find them. There you go. You get another one. Second relic already going for Kragedy. And looks like Wadid is gonna go for some horse archers. I like this a lot. I like this a lot. This gives you a lot of flexibility. And these are actually very, very good unit. Very, very nice. Meanwhile, Lancers are already there for Wadid. For Kragedy here, I mean. He's gonna be finally dealing with those scouts. It's just gonna be a warning sign, you know? I'm not gonna lose my time with you. I'm just going directly into those villagers. And next really gonna be gathered here. Horse Archer not gonna be arriving on time. Let's take a look at his vision. Looks like he's gonna miss out the problem of not having a scout. Looks like he already found it. And let's see if Horse Archer actually managed to take down this one. You can always put the body of iron. He already put it there. And Wololo, is it Wololo coming? Look at the... Never mind, you don't need Wololo here. You just need a Lancer escorting you. This is one of those games where you just... Like when you're a kid, like you need to... to catch the other player. Wololo, and Kragedy is gonna... losing this Lancer. Hey, what happened here? Did Kragedy just delete the Lancer before getting the conversion? That looks like that's what happened. Looks like that's what happened here. And suddenly it just happened to be at the same time. At least we saw Wololo, guys. At least we saw Wololo. It's we don't see those every day. It's most likely to happen with a Shaolin monk. It's just because it can have a lot of health, have a lot of armor. Everything's really good about the Shaolin Monk. It looks like the relic game, it's already finished. Crockery, already there with a Gangnam Tower, probably thinking about an expansion. Going for that second town center, or even 3 town centers. Meanwhile, the Rus, let's take a look at what his plan is. Gonna be mass horse archers. Interesting build. It's like he's gonna go there to harass his opponent, and now horse archers. They're gonna be doing quite well against those lancers. They're not gonna be doing as good as the camels. Camels are just way good to deal with this kind of situations. But horse archers don't get behind. Remember, they do get extra damage because from horsemen, just because they are ranged units. So horsemen are gonna be doing really good work here. Look at this guy. It's like enduring the pain no matter what. It's like, it's okay, I don't need to endure the pain, I just need to kick your ass. There you go. That's what you need here. Meanwhile, Crocodile is gonna be scouting with those lancers. And all secret sites are already in favor of Crocodile. Secret victory approaching for him, putting a lot of pressure onto his opponent. It's not gonna be like a you need to decapture or die, but it's just a sign of, hey, you know what? I actually have pretty much all the relics, have the secret sites. Gold per minute. It's gonna be amazing, guys. If you're enjoying this match, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to watch more Age of Empires 4 content like this, got plenty of content coming every single day. Well, let's get back into the game. 16 archers already here, and interesting build. The archers only cost 80 foot, 40 wood, so they're very light, to be honest. It's not the most expensive unit. Crocodile is gonna start mixing some Trigonus. Not veterancy yet, but Trigonus are just gonna be doing really good against those horse archers, especially because they don't have any range armor, so they're just gonna be having a blast. And looks like Wad is just gonna be scouting what's around, probably thinking about the gold, the berries, and the boar. But unfortunately for him, Crocodile is in the other side of the map. +2 range attack also coming for Wadid. So these horse archers are gonna be even more deadly. And look at that! Crocodile, safe by the last minute, managed to put the villagers inside a village. What a... You gotta love the village, man. And horse archers are just gonna be... Look at that! How many villagers are dead here? We're talking about 4 villagers dead. Horse archers just gonna be taking just a run by, you know. This is not Mango Day, but they actually do quite good because they have really high damage. And just like that, Crocodile lost 6 villagers in the game. Now Wadid already knows he's on 3 town centers. He's gonna go for a second town center himself. Potentially going for a 4th one. You know, you can always use a golden gate to... There you go. He used the golden gate to buy some stone. Probably gonna use it again to buy more stone. So it's a good thing about the golden gate. You can just whatever you want to make, just the resource you need, just sell it, and suddenly like your economy is already very well balanced. What is gonna be decapturing all the secret sites? I thought all the secret sites at the same time. That was like amazing APM. But looks like Crocodile is gonna be playing very defensively for now. Horse archers are gonna be taking down those villagers, which are not as valuable because now you're on 3 town centers. But still, it's gonna be really annoying. Looks like Crocodile wants to stay very safe at his base. He doesn't have the army to fight the Rus, and the Rus also don't have the army to fight Crocodile. I mean, horse archers is not the unit that will end your career, but it's definitely gonna be annoying. It's like a mosquito, you know. It's like it kind of reminds me of, like, I think it's last night I couldn't sleep because of the mosquitoes. It's like this, and when you just kill one, it feels so good. This is exactly how Crocodile should feel when he killed one of those horse archers. But he's gonna be very safe in his base. The Rus taking a different approach. No walls. No walls. Just everyone's welcome. Every kind of migrant. You don't need any walls here. It's gonna actually be doing a farm transition because food will be running out. Not so soon. You still have the boar and the deer, which technically you want to have, just because of the extra bounty and passive gold income that you get from them. Definitely encourage you to go out to hunt those wild animals. Looks like Krakedy already very safe in his base. Have plenty of barracks. Looks like he's gonna probably he's thinking about these classic mass palace guards transitions that we usually see from the Chinese, or just some spearman just to deal with those horse archers. Either one of those. But I feel like with horse archers you just need you just need Trugunus. Just because they're so annoying, they can just walk away. Both players not actually making units. They're in a pretty much a transition phase. Wolf is gonna work for Krakedy here. So Rus already there with, both players with 3 town centers. They are both thinking about the long-term game here, where, okay, it's just, I'm gonna start walling the map, I'm gonna secure my resources. You wanna play that game where you go 3 TCs? Then I also go 3 TCs. I'm gonna... It's not like he went for knights early on and he can just deep dive into the base and cause some damage. Horse archers are just gonna be annoying. But very annoying, to be honest. 15 villagers killed so far. So that's quite impressive. That's really quite impressive. What it's gonna be changing for those Rus knights. I have plenty of stables coming up for him. Golden Gate. Still used quite a lot. Still have 8 points. You can actually wait for the Imperial Age to actually get those, sell a lot of food for a lot of gold, and you really have a good time. You really have a good time. Krakedy gonna be able to capture the sacred sites, and the units basically arrive Trugunus with a couple of the spearmen. Managed to take down one horse archer, but looks like he's gonna be able to take down the monk and also the Trugunus, so this is not gonna be enough. Krakedy, slow but steady, going for that farm transition. More eco upgrades coming up for the Rus. But players having a blast so far. More farm transition. At this point, you can, grab your favorite drink, grab a snack, because things are gonna get really nasty soon. Alright, so looks like Krakedy don't really want to engage until his farm transition is complete. And that's actually really smart. Just because the thing with food with China is that it's very food heavy. Not so much with sushi, because you're not with the Song dynasty. But you're still on 3 town center, so it's quite heavy on food. And just by having your farm transition pretty much guarantees that you're ready to fight. So you need to wait for that farm transition. Meanwhile, just have enough units to defend. He's starting to rally some units. Spearman not veteran yet. He's gonna be able to get veterans soon. Meanwhile, siege engineering coming for wadid. Starting to add some crossbows into the mix. Meanwhile, Trugunus not the best unit to deal with the knights. They're gonna be able to snipe some horse archers. A spearman ready to defend against that knight raid. Villagers just gonna try to build a wall, but not gonna happen. And knights are already there. Gonna be doing a deep dive into Crackery's base. Meanwhile, veteran archers are already coming for wadid. And it's basically only a cavalry-only composition so far. Now, wadid losing quite a lot of lancers. Still plenty of spearmen here. So he's gonna lose quite a lot of them. So this doesn't look like a really bad fight for Crackery. He managed to defend quite well. I don't think wadid wants to continue the push, and indeed he goes back. He goes back to the planning board. Say, okay, like what do we do now? Probably I'm gonna work quite well here. Meanwhile, farm transition pretty much finished for Crackery. How many farms do you have here? Quite a lot. Quite a lot. I bet there are like 40 something. Meanwhile, more walls coming up for wadid, already taking control of the map. More blacksmith upgrades, and with that he's pretty much finished with the almost with the castle age upgrades. I've been thinking about that Imperial age, especially because you already have quite a lot of farms. 29 so far. It's gonna be quite a lot more soon. Meanwhile, Crackery finishing the farm transition finally after several ages. It's finally going to think about pushing into the enemy base. Meanwhile, more units coming from wadid as well as a mangonel. Not thinking about that Imperial age yet. Crackery, he is thinking about it. He certainly does. He does. Unlike the Rus, he does have quite a lot of gold income coming from those relics and that meditation garden. So it's just gonna be quite a good position for him to go to Imperial age. Outposts around the farms. Lovely. Lovely placement. Now Crackery gonna spot that villager here. Not gonna be able to finish that wall and finally going for a counter-attack. Meanwhile, Temple of the Sun on the way for Crackery somewhere in this map. I don't really see it. Where is the Temple of the Sun? Oh, there you go. Temple of the Sun. Activate powerful abilities. We're gonna take a look at that later. Meanwhile, Mangonel's shot managed to get a decent shot against those crossbows. It looks like it's gonna get another shot here. And that's gonna be a cleanup for Crackery. It's not gonna be able to do any kind of damage, but Imperial age is already there. Rushing with several villagers to protect this gold vein. Still, the big gold still remain unprotected. Meanwhile, wadid thinking about going that castle age himself. And looks like we're gonna start seeing the Palace Guards transition. So Temple of the Sun, pretty much infantry units move 15% faster, which is basically what you want to play like, you know, normal China with Palace Guards and everything, which is really good. Let's take a look at what other abilities. Gunpowder units and defensive structures +1 range. Cavalry units still 20% damage, and units out of combat heal 2 health per second. Amazing stuff. So it's basically pretty much thinking about going that mass Palace Guards that all the Chinese players like. Just because you have, they pretty much do the job of, you know, the knights in terms of raiding or horsemen, but they do it in a much cheaper price. And especially when you get those relics, gold it's just not an issue for you. Palace Guards still not upgraded yet. Looks like he will have to push, but already a couple of nests of bees. Sprinkles out there for wadid, and he's already on the Imperial age. It's gonna be the high armory, getting those sprinkle upgrades right as soon as possible, just to try to snipe those nests of bees. Mangonel's gonna be going down, and Palace Guards already got the lead upgrade. Finally, Crackery pushing into the wadid space with plenty of units. I have 34 units, but it's a couple of nests of bees, and These Palace Guards are already elite. No elite army tactics yet, no university for Krakeny so far. But he's gonna be able to push further and further into the enemy base, and there is no Kremlin here, so militia cannot be called as an emergency. But Streltsy are gonna get called here. Villagers gonna be going down. And more Palace Guards just flooding into the enemy base. Streltsy already there to save the day. Springle against Springle, not gonna happen, my friend. Elite Knights coming soon for Wadid. It's already getting the upgrade. Looks like so far he's just gonna go for Streltsy. Very good unit. Not as expensive as the Hand Cannoneer, and still does quite a lot of damage. Looks like Wadid has enough Springles to make Krakeny go back to his base. University being supervised. These guys are just gonna be supervising the hell out of this. Just in 20 seconds you're gonna get incendiary arrows, 36 seconds to get elite army tactics. That's quite impressive, to be honest. Meanwhile, more Palace Guards are just gonna be going there for a raid. Not gonna be able to find anything, and the elite knights. I love the unit, man. It's such a cool unit, to be honest. Actually, take a screenshot of this. Wonderful. Best unit so far. Actually, I have a really hard time telling you which one is my favorite looking unit. I would say Zipagi in Imperial Age, probably. Maybe Castle Age Knights from Delhi. They're really cool. I just have such a hard time. Such a hard time to deal with this kind of decisions. Meanwhile, Krakeny, I'm not really sure how much production he has. It's like at this point you really need way more production. You want to have like, if you want to do the man-at-arms push, I already elite army tactics here. If you want to do the man-at-arms push, probably gonna think about having like 20 barracks or more. Like no joke. Like it's just so effective because these guys are just so fast. And the good thing is the Rus don't have access to Stonewall, so Krakeny is able to just continue those raids. The Rus gonna be having to deal with those now. More Stonewalls coming for Krakeny. And he's also aging up with the Chushi's library. Gonna be getting those special units. Let's see which one he gets first. Palace Guard's gonna be going down. These knights are just made different, man. A lot of attack coming from them. The Palace Guard's going for more raids. Streltsy. 23 Streltsy so far? Oh my god, that's a unit that is really hard to counter. Meanwhile, looks like Krakeny is gonna go for Dynastic Protectors, getting the Imperial Guard, which is probably the strongest knight in the game, and the UN Rider, which is pretty damn good unit to kill villagers, and especially when you combine this with the Divine Charge, cavalry units deal plus 20 damage. It's just so powerful for you. It's just so powerful. And so far, Palace Guards are just gonna be being really annoying for now. Looks like the knights managed to break down into the base, and Krakeny will just need to send some units there to defend. These guys are just not gonna be going down too fast. They have plenty of health. Plenty of health. Another Palace Guard raid. Meanwhile, Stonewalls going out for Krakeny. Slow but steady. Trying to secure the map. You obviously want to avoid this kind of raids. And now the knights go directly into the farms. Look at the food economy for Krakeny. Jesus Christ. 3.6k? That's a lot of... That's quite a lot. That's quite a lot. These granaries are are just like, huh. Wow. It's just wow. Looks like the wall is gonna get finished here. Not gonna be able to do that sneaky wall. And UN Rider already there. Now these UN Riders, they deal plus 15 damage. The 15 with the Ming Dynasty. And they have bonus damage against villagers. So plus 5 against workers. They are a really, really good unit for raiding. Not so much for the front line, but for taking down villagers is actually quite good. Bombard already there with wadid. He's like, I'm just tired of this. I'm just gonna go with one bombard, and we're gonna deal with this right here, right now. Streltsy, just gonna be doing so much damage. Like, damn, man, that's a lot of Streltsy. 27 on the field. Springle's gonna be taking down the nest of bees, but the front line for wadid, it's already gone. Meanwhile, more UN Riders gonna be trying to take down these walls. And Chugunus. Also, one thing to keep in mind, it's this 1000 bolts. Like, Chugunus, crossbow men have, like, it's just, they're just so good with this upgrade. They're just so good. I wonder if Kraken is gonna go for this. This is peak Chushi's legacy, man. Take a look at this. But meanwhile, the wall proving to be very effective. Kraken not being able to break through the wall so far. That's quite a lot of bombards and not enough units for Kraken, to be honest. Still milking those resources, and trade still available for him, but so does quite a lot of gold. UN Riders just gonna be going out there. More walls coming for the Rus. And now more knights also coming for him. The knights just gonna be quite difficult to deal with, especially with those Streltsy. Even if you go with Spearman, you're not gonna have such a good time. Now look at how squishy those UN Riders actually are. Looks like the Rus is gonna be doing this switch for Elite Horsemen, which is very, very good. Normally in the Imperial Age, like, you want to save that gold for really good units and siege and whatever, and you can just raid with a horseman, because Elite Horsemen just do very, very well against villagers. And looks like the Rus are already with a keep here. Sacred Victory approaching, almost 6 minutes, and wadid is pushing into Kraken's base. And Kraken with a little bit of a trouble here. It's like, he's gonna have to deal with this army, and at the same time he needs to deal with the Sacred Timer. I already have a keep here. Wooden Fortress definitely gonna help out, and walls are already here, so it's just gonna be really hard for him to break through this. No upgrade for those Chugunu, unfortunately. They can be doing so much more damage with the upgrade for the 1000 bolts. So 1000, 10,000. Anyway, let's just keep an eye on the fight. More units coming here from the Rus. A couple of bombards that are gonna be taking down the production of Kraken. Looks like crossbows, Chugunus, just not gonna be enough. UN Riders, very cheap unit, but not as effective as it should be. Looks like Kraken, it's managed to push enough. But look at those knights just being so tanky. Spearman not getting the elite upgrades. Just getting it now, so it's just not gonna be very effective. And now he's pushing, but the problem is you need siege. You need siege to deal with this. You need a lot of nests of bees. And you just need to step on here. No keep here, so it's gonna be quite easier compared to the other sides. This one is quite hard, to be honest. UN Raiders gonna be trying to decap that sacred site. Still 4 minutes left. Wooden Fortress gonna be taking down those Urine Riders slow but steady, and another keep coming here for the Wadid just to secure his Sacred Site victory. Meanwhile, that's a lot of Chugunus. To be honest, you have a really hard time checking if they're actually crossbowman or Chugunus. Just by the way they look. Actually look so cool. They actually look so cool. And unfortunately, Horseman arrived on time, and Crockett is not gonna be able to step into the Sacred Site. Gonna be sending some Horsemen, but just not enough units here. Horsemen are just gonna be quite decent against those Urine Riders, and the keep is just gonna be finished, and it's just gonna be so hard to push now in this side of the map. At the same time, looks like Crockett is cleaning up this part, but another keep happening here. More Streltsy coming for Wadid. 3 minutes until the Sacred Site victory. Crockett able to step into the Sacred Site, and with those Chugunus, you actually have a chance, just because you can attack from distance. Wadid is just pulling everyone here. He knows how important this winning condition is. Otherwise, the battle is just gonna take forever. But not enough units for Crockett. He's splitting his army into 2 directions. Looks like he's gonna try to stop the keep here as well. And looks like Crockett will be able to stop the Sacred Site. The last unit. But that's not over for him. I mean, a Sacred victory is still approachable for the Rus. He just capture again, and then you just need to deal with that. More Mangonels coming for the Rus. Remember, these Mangonels already have those upgrades from the high armory, so they don't need time to deploy. They just shoot. But now Urine Raiders actually raiding, taking down quite a lot of villagers here. Crockett taking... look at the villager count. I think the Rus is actually suffering now from a lot of income. Look at how fast these units are actually taking down all those villagers. We're talking about 95 villager kills. Urine Riders came to save the day. And villagers try to put a keep here. But what it taps out, what a game, and what a game from these 2 players. I hope you enjoyed this game. Certainly I did, and I see you in the next one. Wow.